Binge.
Hey everyone, welcome back for a brand new special edition video about the show that's still got people talking 10 seasons in, The Walking Dead. Warning, beyond this point there are spoilers for people who are not up to date in the Walking Dead television universe and comic book series. In this video we're going to give you our binge breakdown of the brand new Walking Dead Season 10 trailer, just released at Comic-Con, and we have some very special prizes for some lucky subscribers. We're also going to examine the new information we found out about the Rick Grimes films in the brief teaser also released at Comic-Con. Before we get into the video, we just want to thank the Walking Dead supply drop for hooking us up with some much needed Walking Dead material in this slow off-season. We want to share that love, so we have a free supply drop summer cookout edition for one lucky fan. We also have second and third place prizes as well. To enter into the contest, all you have to do, if you haven't already, is subscribe to our YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Comment below in this video letting us know your username and we'll enter you in to win this killer prize and chance to be featured in one of our future videos opening the mystery supply drop. For second and third place, we have some Binge Rampage branded merchandise as well, so get in on the action while you still can, people. The contest will be closed by August 21st and winner announced at a later date, so support our channel and the Walking Dead supply drop right away. Now let's take a look at this somewhat confusing but definitely intense trailer. In an interview with EW, Angela Kang mentioned PTSD and paranoia playing big roles in this season, and the first half of the trailer definitely conveys those emotions, as the survivors are still clearly reeling from the Pike deaths back in Season 9. The first shot teases some seafaring action as a zombie attached to a drifting branch of wood washes up near the shore. After a literal AMC logo splash, the following shot shows some of our favorite survivors rolling up like the horsemen of the apocalypse. Literally. Next up is an action shot of Alpha power walking towards something, possibly the border, as she refers to the one rule between their people, that border. The following shot shows Daryl and Michonne approaching the border on what appears to be the same night. Is this at the same time? After that shot is a close-up of Alpha who says,
"Always watching."
Are they though? The action then cuts back to Alexandria as one of the red shirts is doing his best Friday the 13th Part 2 impression or pretending to be a whisperer. The next shot appears to be Michonne reacting to something scary, but it is probably taken out of context. The voice heard during the shot is Negan's as he gives his take on the situation.
See, the boogeyman just stuck his gnarly skin-covered mask out from behind that closet door.
After that is a cool shot of zombies or possibly whisperers walking by a camera in the woods. The trailer then cuts to Negan with one of his classic Negan lines.
And people are putting their shitting pants back on.
What do you think? How big of a role will Negan play in the Whisperer War? Following that shot is this one of Eugene seemingly scared shitless. He's running for a radio here. Is he going to alert the other communities of a threat, or has he established radio contact with whoever was on the other end here in the Season 9 finale? After that is a shot of Eugene's unrequited love, Rosita. She looks extremely upset with her baby. Is something wrong with the child? Did someone die, or is this postpartum depression? Next up is a surprising shot of Luke, who we didn't think would make it past the Pike wall. It looks like he's toughened up and shed a few pounds. Is he tougher than Eugene at this point? Following that shot is one of our favorite, little ass kicker, Judith Grimes. She's holding a Whisperer mask and looks absolutely terrified. Is Alexandria under attack here, or is this just fear over what's already happened? As Michonne's voice says that fear is dangerous, the trailer cuts to a ghost appearance of Henry behind Carol. The next shot shows a disoriented Sadiq sitting down in Alexandria's town hall, and it looks like Eugene is next to him and they both have cuts on their faces. After that is another Sadiq shot as his face is plunged into water. Is he really being drowned here, or is this part of the PTSD Sadiq is undoubtedly experiencing after watching so many of his friends murdered then turned into fence decorations? The trailer then cuts to Michonne and Aaron. Michonne emphasizes that fear will drive them apart, which is probably setting up some sort of mutiny, as there was one after the Pike deaths in the comics. Another notable storyline from the comics shows up in the next shot as a smaller person, possibly Lydia, spray paints Silence the Whisperers. The next shot shows what seems to be Michonne's front door with the same anti-Whisperer propaganda spray painted on it. It seems that townspeople are pressuring the leadership to take down the Whisperers once and for all. As the music playing is revealed to be a suspenseful twist on the original theme song, the trailer cuts to Alden assessing a situation. We don't know much about his motivation except that he's angry about Enid and most likely wants revenge bad.
Haven't they done enough to us?
The next shot shows Lydia training with the staff, but she's no Morgan. Following that is a shot of Sadiq, Rosita, and maybe Eugene walking somewhere with purpose. Could there be something wrong with the baby? The trailer then cuts to Negan, who is telling Lydia to watch her back. Their dynamic was never really explored in the comics, but it could be really interesting in Season 10. After that is a shot of Lydia in a different outfit storming away. Is she still having trouble adjusting? How many times will Daryl have to convince her? The next moment is very tense as Daryl trash talks Negan. The sequence then cuts to Negan seemingly smiling at Daryl. After that, the action cuts to Daryl punching someone in the head. But is this really Negan? After that is a calm moment of Michonne patrolling by the fences, walking right by our favorite preacher man. Or at least one of our favorites. As Negan talks about protecting what belongs to you, we're treated to shots of Aaron with Grace, Sadiq with his baby, a great shot of Daryl and Dog with Connie, then to a shot of some of the Alexandrians arriving at Oceanside, which is finally back in play.
Oceanside's down.
The next shot shows Negan with a bloody face, which could match this iconic scene from the comics, but this could be a misdirect as the following shot shows a hurt Aaron guarding himself from someone with a bloody crowbar. Could this actually be Maggie's return? When questioned about Lauren Cohen coming back to the series, showrunner Angela Kang did say they were working on it. What do you think? Who is in this shot? Following that moment is another one with Negan, as he plays it low-key with Gabriel and says he'd rather stay home and bury bodies than fight. Gabe's response is priceless.
You can fight. You are low on fighters. Peanut butter, meat jelly.
This is also notable because Negan being out amongst the people somewhat free seems to be a fairly common occurrence now. How much action will Negan see? In the comics, Rick and Negan eventually buddy up, and the former bad guy head honcho actually saves Rick's life. Could this previous shot be a misdirect? Maybe here Negan is saving Aaron. After Father Gabriel storms off, Negan points out the obvious about Aaron's new accessory. We can't wait to see him bash some brains in. Aaron doesn't seem to be amused by Negan, but in his very obvious redemption arc, it might be just a matter of time before Negan wins Aaron over. Aaron has cuts on his face here. We believe that this must be after Alexandria is attacked and Michonne sends a group of soldiers out to fight back. Next up is a great Rosita action shot as she finishes off a walker, and then the action cuts to the daytime as reformed savior Laura puts a spear through a walker as another creeps up behind her. With most of the saviors gone, could this be Laura's exit here? What do you think? Who's your favorite savior? As the trailer picks up in speed and intensity, Judith swings her katana blade at some walkers, and the action quickly cuts to Magna using a spear on a roamer, and then to Alden with his patented Unsullied level spear throw. Notice the location here, which we will see again later, is along the ocean, so clearly the community that was largely absent for most of Season 9 will play a more central role in the 10th season. Following that shot is Michonne whipping her sword out and running towards some threat. Knowing this is her last season with few details about her exit, it's anyone's guess how and when she says goodbye. Just because she's going to be in the Rick Grimes solo movies does not mean she'll survive. What if she appears to Rick as some sort of ghost or flashback throughout? We just don't know, which means nobody's safe. After that is a training shot as someone hits the bag like Rocky punching slabs of meat. This appears to be Rosita, but it's tough to say for sure. The next shot cuts to Carol as she does some existentialist thinking.
You ever wonder if this is all there is?
That shot cuts to this one of a Whisperer who is most likely newcomer Gamma, a Whisperer that is reportedly fiercely loyal to Alpha. The noob sociopath is portrayed by former American Beauty star Thora Birch. She may have a significant role in the season to come if things play out similar to the comic books and a power vacuum is created by a certain villain's beheading. After that is the first beta shot in the trailer. In Season 9, it was creepy when walkers stopped moving. Now we're just desensitized to it. The following shot shows Michonne, Judith, Diane, Connie, Angel, and more once again at Oceanside, where it appears a sizable battle will be fought as the Whisperer War finally begins. The trailer then cuts to Daryl, who is giving his thoughts on life to Carol. As he talks about the next fight, the action cuts back to Oceanside as a small fighting force storms the beach like it's D-Day. This shot is concerning as Carol is crying over something. Is this just sadness about Henry, or has someone else died or said goodbye? The next shot cuts to Daryl comforting Carol, and we're all wondering if these two will ever actually pull the trigger on a relationship. Following that moment is a shot of Aaron walking around with a group of armored soldiers, but it's hard to tell when in the season this might occur. After that shot, we get our first Jerry action as the king and his right-hand man are trying to clear some walkers off of a boat. Next up is another moment from the beach battle as the survivors have these really cool spiked shields and are using them to safely fight the walkers and possibly weed out the whisperers. The trailer then cuts to a scared-looking Father Gabriel up against the bars of Negan's cell. Is it possible Negan is let out and then once again returns? It's impossible to know just how closely they'll adapt the comics, but for Father Gabriel's sake, we hope they make some changes. After that shot is another horse riding moment as Magna and Yumiko gallop through the woods. How many horse fails do you think we'll see this season? Following that moment, the trailer cuts back to Daryl and Carol's conversation in the woods. Daryl talks about just leaving and Carol mentions going out west. Both actors are signed on to contracts that tie them to the Walking Dead universe, not just the flagship series, so they could conceivably leave the show, although we hope that doesn't happen just yet. Could they go on to Fear like Dwight did, or could they end up in Rick's films? After that moment, the trailer cuts to a sailboat on the water. It seems there's going to be a fair amount of ocean scenes in Season 10. The trailer then cuts to a bunch of survivors dragging some fishing nets in from the shore. The next shot shows Luke hugging Angel, and it appears there may have been a time jump at some point as the group was separated for some time and Luke has gotten skinny. Is he a pirate now? After that is another boat shot as Ezekiel ties off his boat. Following that shot is a moment on the beach and pretty much the cutest one in the whole trailer. Jerry, his kids, Dog, Judith, and RJ are all running on the beach. Even the apocalypse has Hallmark moments, people. The next shot shows Michonne with her two babies, then Gabriel with Rosita in another sentimental moment. After that, we get the first shot of an actor playing a character from the comics named Dante, who is most notably Maggie's rebound from Glenn. If Maggie comes back, maybe something happens with them, but chances are his character will have a new storyline and different love interests. Here, Dante is helping someone that's hurt, so hopefully he's a positive addition to the survivors. This shot shows that Lydia still leans on Daryl when she needs a shoulder to cry on. We believe Lydia will kill some of her old people, and this could be the reason why she is crying, but there's no way to know for sure. The next shot shows Eugene measuring Rosita's baby's leg, and he looks confused or concerned. Is there something wrong with this baby? Or is it just the smelly diaper? The following two shots show Magna and Yumiko getting hot and heavy before we get treated with another Judith shot. The young Miss Grimes is talking to newcomer Luke, who's sporting a very cool looking weapon. The pair seem to be looking for a Russian-English dictionary. Does this hold some clue to a storyline for this season? This next shot shows Daryl getting cozy with Connie while Carol is right behind him. What is this, big love? It's anyone's guess who Daryl will eventually end up with, if he ends up with anybody. The following shot shows Michonne comforting Judith at night. After that, the trailer cuts to Carol standing by a pike, and from the next shot of the leather H last seen in Season 9, this appears to be Henry's grave marker / offense post. The trailer then cuts to Michonne talking about having a partner in crime, right before kissing Ezekiel. Since they did have a romance in the comics, this is not super shocking, but we do all know Michonne will be leaving to feature in the Rick Grimes solo film, so clearly this relationship doesn't end well. The next shot shows the Whisperer reporter. The action then cuts to the survivors in some kind of camp while Magna gets concerned about starting a war with the Whisperers, which is pretty much inevitable at this point. The following shot shows Daryl and Carol doing exactly what Magna was worried about as they cross the boundary line into Whisperer territory. After that is a scary moment as Michonne is putting her sword down and backing away slowly. The next shot shows armed Whisperers, and it appears Michonne may be surrounded here. The trailer then cuts back to a handful of survivors still on the right side of the border. There is then a kind of ridiculous looking shot of Alpha. She seems to be overacting here, but it's probably going to be terrifying in the moment. That moment leads to this one, arguably the best line in the whole trailer.
Bitch has to die.
Finally, Killer Carol is coming back. The trailer then speeds up again with 3 back-to-back shots of Magna, the newer group, and some other red shirts running through the woods. The next shot shows Judith and Team Oceanside marching on the beach before cutting back to night again as Daryl runs through the woods with some troops. After that is a rare shot of Alpha actually hustling, and it's unclear whether or not she is in trouble or rushing to sneak attack someone. Here Carol and Diane draw their bows ready to fire before the trailer cuts back to nightfall as Rosita and Eugene have a moment.
You want to go back, don't you?
I could go all night.
What do you think? Will Eugene ever get the girl?
Shut up! Don't make this weird.
The next shot shows Sadiq in action before cutting back to the Battle of the Beach that's starting to look like the Battle of the Bastards. The following shot shows that even Beta has to hustle sometimes, but again, it's unclear what's going on. After that, we get a great action shot of Earl the blacksmith getting some anger out after his wife was killed by the skin-wearing psychos. The action then cuts back to the beach as Luke goes out to fight with his steampunk-looking weapon. The next shot shows Carol staring mesmerized at a fire. Did she throw her own Whisperer barbecue? After that, the action stops as a shot of walkers going through a hole in a wall that could either be the hilltop or Alexandria. It's hard to tell. The trailer then cuts back to the beach once again as a shield moves over and Judith goes in for the kill. She really is the greatest. The following shot shows an injured Yumiko drawing her bow. This shot shows Alpha telling people to run. We believe Alpha's pressed her luck one too many times.
The next time they cross into my land, my horde will cross into theirs.
The next shot shows a bunch of red shirts running while fire burns in the background. In the comics, the Whisperers attack the hilltop with flaming arrows. Could this be that attack? The following shot is back to the beach as 3 members of the new group of survivors ready their weapons for battle. We can't wait to see how this war will play out. The trailer then cuts to Michonne talking about things getting worse before they get better. Anyone sensing a pattern here? As Michonne talks about everyone working together, the trailer cuts rapidly to Daryl swinging an axe, Alden using his lucky spear, then Daryl firing an arrow. The next shot shows a group of walkers, then Alpha smiling a ridiculous smile. After the title card, we get an extended look at Daryl and Carol in the woods. It seems they are going to have a relationship, but they're still not there yet. Maybe they'll get there by season 20.
Best friend? What are you, 10?
After a card splashes in with the premiere date for you to mark your calendars to, October 6th, the trailer cuts back to Michonne for one last shot. You might recognize this angle. It's the same one Negan had in the season 6 finale as he terrorized the survivors before killing Abraham and Glenn. Is Michonne doing the same thing to Alpha here? Or is she returning Lucille to Negan and unleashing him on the Whisperers? Either way, the war is almost here and we can't wait to see who lives and who dies. Finally, we want to take a look at the teaser just released for the Rick Grimes solo film, and it's barely a teaser. What we really find out is at least the first movie will actually be released in the theaters and that the skyline appears to be Philadelphia. Is the Walking Dead universe finally moving up north? Unfortunately, that's the only new info we have. Fear the Walking Dead has explored the helicopter people a little bit more in their season 5, but there's still way more questions than answers. What do you think? Is Rick at the Commonwealth? Where's Maggie? Will more characters leave The Walking Dead for Fear, or will the two shows somehow combine? In Scott Gimple's Weird Walker world, anything is possible. Thanks so much for watching our videos, everyone. As always, we're on the lookout for insider information and promotional material to help prove or disprove all the rumors and theories going around about our favorite apocalyptic mega franchise. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Binge Rampage. Click the notification bell for our channel so you can see our next video as soon as it comes out. And don't forget to subscribe.
You were in a room with the governor, and you let him go. And then he killed Merle. I did what I had to do.